It's turn 36 of this playthrough of Orb and Crown between El Condoro and Nicholas Wolf. We're going to go straight to the replay and see how it went. So Nick continues to attack from Moradon. I think that's more of a diversion than an actual real attack, because I don't think they're particularly strong at this stage. But the gladiators and slaves, on the other hand, are actually quite strong. Thankfully, my Praetorians were smart enough to retreat from that deadly situation. And Draka continues to be a nuisance. That's what he's designed for, so he's doing his job well. Right, so West Kilmar has finally joined, and as I might have said before, I've got the full set of Vikings. Alright, so we lost that veteran unit from Mittelheim. The West Kilmar has joined us. Eramus Islands, I should say, is preparing for war, so they'll join next turn. And most of the rest of it is not particularly useful information, except that we have been taking a little bit of gold off the Allies through our ship interceptions along the trade routes. Alright, so I get a little bit of information from my spies, mostly useless and sometimes useful. You never know. Okay, so I've got some medium humanoids, the first orcs, and I'll put them into Guatenheim. And then Insula Metis has its first cohort of veterans as well. Okay, let's go over to Guatenheim and see what they're up to. And I said that was Draka before, but that's not Draka. That is the dragon that hangs around Gazale, I think its name is. Glazale the Cloud Chaser is the dragon from the Sky Castle, Sky Reach of Blagovkis out of Horde of the Dragon Queen, transplanted into this part of the world at this stage. Alright, now I'll come back to the Vikings in a mo. Let's have a look at Guatenheim for a start. Now, I don't want to lose these elites, so I'll put them up to full as quickly as possible. And I've got a few things that I can hit these guys with, so I will attack them and have to retreat, I'm sure. Wow, I'll tell you what, they're actually a little bit tougher than I thought they would be. Much tougher than I thought they were going to be. Alright, well, in that case, that gives me cause to pause. And I will put myself back over the river, such that as it is, full of toxic fumes, steam, and other very nasty things, mutant fish, I'm sure. Alright, over on the east, into Molkan. Let's see what's going on here. We have, and I've explained why this is not showing up. It will show up as a dragon in future. At the moment, the actual icon has been transplanted, and that's why it looks like a wreck of a ship, because that is going to be the icon for ship sinkers, the equivalent of maritime bombers. Now, since they are the only ones that I can see at the moment, I could attack this veteran unit here in Gamilla, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. Oh, of course I don't want to do that. I can take out the guard that is in Silk Sultanate, and we'll be able to take the capital. I assume that will be enough to make them surrender. And I'll send some giants down. Can they get down there? Not quite. But they can't. Oh, no, they can't either. She can. Right, so I'll move down and have a bit of a scout around this area here. And check my supply, because I really don't want to run out of supply at this stage. And I'll just get a little bit closer. Have a look there. Yep. And we'll put Imrith a little bit closer. And that should be about it for Guartenheim. They have 50 gold pieces left, which is not very much, but it might be enough for some diplomacy. Let's have a look. Oh, they've got all their chits allocated. Right, that's all I'm going to do with them for now. Let's go across, like I said, to the Vikings. As you can see, when we have a bit of a scroll around, the Vikings are amassing quite an army now. They have all of the Viking regions as allies, and all that is required now is for me to get them up to strength so that I can actually make a concerted attack on Angnord. At the moment they have 494 gold pieces, so that's a good amount, and I think what I'll do is I will build them up before I actually send them to the south. That's going to take a little while. Get West Kilmar up as quickly as possible. Let's have a look. What can they get? I don't think I need marching formation at this stage for the leaders, but definitely armor. This unit will come up and form the garrison of the capital, Gunvostag, and going across to east. I could start moving them out. Now, I made this silly mistake here, didn't I, of putting the Ragnar Fire Giants into these long-range transports. So that's why it's so expensive to build the long-range transports to fit Fire Giants. It's going to take the Viking shipwrights quite a bit of time. So credit where it's due. They have done a great job. I'm going to check out what the trip down here would look like, and it looks like it's pretty safe, so I should be able to move these giants down to support this attack quite easily. I'm going to keep the fire giants here just in case I can actually use them for an invasion. I don't want to waste that kind of gold pieces on something that I could have just used a normal transport for. Have I got enough for these? Yes, so I will also send this unit down too. Thankfully, having not checked the actual path, I was right in assuming that it would be relatively free, and they've only got 4 gold pieces left, so they certainly won't be sending anything more. But they could possibly attack here. That's not ready, able to attack. This is an elite unit here. Let's just have a quick look. No, I would suggest that's probably not a good idea. But I might be able to take out a garrison. What a bully. They've got a 4 entrenchment there. That's why they're going to take a little bit of moving. Plus he's also invested in some garrison technology. So if I have a look at the properties of this garrison, you'll see weapons and armor, and garrisons gives them an extra bit of defense and attack ability against light and medium armor, not against the other armor types. So, will I attack or not? I'm going to attack. Garrison's putting up a good fight, but they can't last forever. And of course they won't. Okay, so I've got another unit here that I could move up. It would be dangerous. So I've only got 4 gold pieces, so I won't try to reinforce them. Put the ships back in harbour. These ones continue to either guard or block the trade routes in that area. And of course, up to the north we go. And Ingrid is getting closer. Next turn, for me to be able to get to Arctio, I'm going to need to declare war on the Frozen Wastelands, and that will give me access to this part here. But I don't need to do that this turn. She is not ready for it yet. Down to Andania. And you can see that the mutineers are about to be defeated. So let's just finish them off. It's the only nice thing to do. Using the specialists with range 2. Actually quite look, they've got three points there. That's dangerous. Alright, one attack there. Too dangerous. Still too dangerous. Wow. I do like the fact that they are quite so tough, but still, come on guys. Alright, now they're about ready to fall. There we go. And we'll finish off their leader. And that should be the end of the mutineers, or the mutineers. And now I'm going to start moving things in either the direction of the ports here, so that I can move units up to Marmont as quickly as possible, or directly to Marmont itself. Alright, looking around here, now they've got 389 gold pieces left, and I'm feeling that Marmont is fairly reliable. So far there hasn't been a problem with them, so I'm going to start building up Marmont. And I could end up with egg on my face. It might just be that the chance of them moving has not occurred yet, and they might stab me in the back at any minute. But I'm going to take that risk. It's now the 11th month, Redfall, and it doesn't look like they're going to do that. So let's actually invest in some Marmont units. I don't know how much I can afford yet. Just a basic elite unit to start off with. Alright, and now to Potentia. Aramis has joined them, so that means that they will get extra gold pieces. They don't have much else to offer. You can see that their units are pretty useless. They've got one Sea Hunter here, which is quite useful eventually. Well, it's useful for scouting anyway, but when scouting is increased, it becomes much more useful, being able to scout to sea, because scouting will give not only it gives land units, certain land units like your light cavalry and so forth, an extra range of spotting, and sea hunters, it does the same thing for sea spotting. So eventually, when they've got their 2 levels up, they'll be able to see out to 3 hexes, which is really useful for being able to spot your enemy units, of course. Now, when 0.4 is released and the Viking Raiders are out at sea, they will be in certain areas, but you won't know exactly where they are. So these guys with scouting will become really important, as will ship sinkers, the maritime bombers of this game. They will become very important, because once those ships are found, you might not be able to get your own fleet into attack range. Hopefully you'll have a ship sinker in range that will be able to attack. Alright, Potentia is still having trouble with these slaves here. Completely understandable. And I've just taken the cheap option just to try to gain a bit of time, really. Might not be the right thing to do. because as you can see, this elite unit here, made up of the best gladiators from the aren't they called Ludii, the gladiator schools, they are all in this one unit here, as is the leader is back here somewhere. Okay, so they have 676 points, gold pieces. Wow, they are so rich, these guys. So I'm going to continue to invest in my allies. Transorum, I think, is pretty right now. Let's have a look on their purchase screen. Transorum Imperium. They can get another leader. I'm not sure it's worth it. They can get a sea hunter. Infantry, yeah, that's okay for garrisoning or strong garrisons. Insula Metis can also get a leader and a sea hunter. Nova Spes is pretty much the same. Eramis Islands, right, so I can build them up because they do have the potential to build forces, and Potentia is getting pretty close to its 10 unit ceiling, which doesn't stop them from going over it, but it costs them 200 gold pieces for upgrade or upkeep of the army. Right, veterans, so I'm going to, well, let's go with elite, I think. Start with them. Get your best troops out. 271 left. And before I do that, let's have a look at their research situation. Yep, they're still on the cusp. So they're getting pretty close to getting sea warfare, charge. Weapons is not that far away, level 2 weapons, so Potentia is getting stronger all the time. But for now, we will purchase that veteran unit for Eramis Islands. I think that's all I can get. That's all I need to do for Potentia, I think. Now, the Golden Khanate. Sorry, just scroll around the map like this. Hope you're not getting too dizzy. And I will move these guys out as well because I need to go back home. So at the moment, the Golden Khanate is just moving into position to attack into the ancient lands. That will take a little while for them to get there. As you can see, I'm force marching them all the way where I can, and it's not always possible. So even though I don't use all of my points, I'll probably gain more points by going into a town, then I can force march out of the town from there. I could send them down to the port here, which might be the best thing to do because they're going to take forever. The HQ, the leaders being moved across the land take a long time. Their transport is not particularly good at this stage when they get... In fact, can I do that? Yes, I can. Maybe I'll just put march in formation onto it, and that leader will be able to move a bit faster. Otherwise, just moving the units, as you can see. Nothing to see here yet. And they have 539 gold pieces. Their research can get a little bit more. Armor, sea fighting, sky warfare might be good. We do have a few sky units, so put 150 into that, leaving 389, which should be enough to get. Got to remember that limit as well. So how are the Imhotep? Imhotep's looking pretty strong, so I want to push this advantage and keep moving. Ooh, there's nothing there. Now these are the mines of Braun Anvil, so they are definitely worth taking, and that is what I'm going to do. Also moving quickly to the north. These guys, I can get all the way up to the... Alright, so I'll upgrade. No, only 1 point. I'll move these guys. And the leader I will upgrade as well so that they can move quickly next turn. Right, this one's already been upgraded. That's pretty safe there. Time to move. So the campaign is going quite well against the Ancients. And I'm thinking I should try to open up a port over here. Maybe if I attack Buvalu, that I'll be able to open up that port there, which allows me to bring this veteran unit in. Or I can just bring them over here to Tammuz, or indeed all the way to Amon-Ra. But that's just, yeah, it's quite a way from there. It's quite a way from there. I'll see how they go. I'll see how they go, and at some stage I'll make a decision about whether to attack here and take that port. But then I've got to wait for it to get its 5 points back and be useful to embark and disembark troops. 228 gold pieces for the Golden Khanate, and no, they're on the cusp. Right. So I think I might just keep that. I'll just have a look at diplomacy before I make a decision. Pirate Kingdom. I think I can put 2 into them, so I will. Chult. They take a lot to move, but they're worth it if you can get them. And what's the other one that I wanted to move? That's about it, I think. Scrolling out. I have worked out what's wrong with the map, but for now we'll just deal with this basic map here. And I think that's all I really want to do at this stage. I wanted to move these back, didn't I, to get refitted. The nightmare scenario is that while they're a little bit on the weak side, Nick's fleet is out there waiting for them. That's always a possibility, always good fun. Well, it looks like he's got something over here. And that will do. That will do. Let's go to the end of the turn. Ingrid suffers a point of attrition again. Luckily she hasn't got sick. The militia suffers attrition. Ah, forgot to move them. That's alright. Silk Sultanate surrenders, so it's not really that such a big deal that I forgot them. And Guartenheim gets 288 gold pieces from the conquest. Mutinous surrenders as well. This is a very good turn. And Dani gets 376 gold pieces. Chult has moved to the adversaries. I said it takes a lot to move them, and they move first off. It's good, 12%. Danevirk has moved to the adversaries. Now, they normally ally with Angford, but they've been moved towards me. Angford can put more in and move them back the other way eventually, but it's a slowing down process. Makoria has moved towards me for 14% as well. Bit more disruption on the seas. Now with storms, because they're galleys and they're not ships that are designed to withstand storms completely, any time a ship is hit by a storm, they will suffer at least 1 point of damage, possibly more. So storms do have an effect on these ships. And Andania has developed 2 new technologies. Potentia has got sea warfare and charge. That's a good one to get. Now they can start building some cavalry units. Not that they've got very many. They tend to be more of an infantry-based army. Golden Khanate, my goodness, a lot of technology coming through this turn. Land warfare. And the balance sheet, which looks very healthy. And everyone seems to be doing pretty well. So that's where we'll leave it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.